And welcome, Hoosier fans, to this episode of the Assembly Call Halftime Report as the Indiana Hoosiers jump out all over the Northwestern Wildcats in the first half, 36-22. And I know that you all are thinking exactly what I'm thinking. Where the hell has this defense been all year? I mean, look, here's the thing. In the pregame, listening to Crean talk to Fisher, sometimes you have to take what coaches say with a grain of salt in a pregame. But Fish asked, what is the team's attitude like? And Tom said, love it, love it. And sometimes he says things like that and you feel like he's trying to convince himself. And sometimes he says things like that with such conviction that you're like, damn, all right, maybe we are ready to play. And he talked about how rested they were, how ready they were. And I tell you what, from the moment the ball tipped in this first half, he was proven right, because this team from the very first possession came out playing with an energy and a focus level on both ends of the floor that we have not seen in a while. Now, we've seen that on offense some, but we certainly haven't seen it on defense, where the Hoosiers are denying passing lanes and moving guys off the block when they're trying to get position. I mean, it was just a terrific defensive half for Indiana. And I know that Northwestern isn't some great offensive team, but the Hoosiers held them to 0.79 points per possession, and that was not by accident. This was not Northwestern just going out there and missing a whole bunch of shots. This was Indiana imposing its defensive will on an opponent, something that we haven't seen all season. I mean, even in the big blowouts like Maryland and Minnesota, you always felt like it was the offense kind of leading the defense. Today, it has been the defense leading the offense, and just a terrific job by Indiana. And, of course, the other big thing is rebounding. The Hoosiers have a 25-14 rebounding advantage over Northwestern, with 13 of those rebounds on the offensive end. I mean, if that doesn't show you how locked in and focused and energetic this team is, I don't know what does. But I tell you what, just a great, fun half to watch. I mean, it's been so – I don't even have words to explain how different that half was from what we've seen almost the entire season. We certainly haven't seen 20 minutes of defense like that. We've seen it in little spurts, but it's like Indiana took the sense of urgency that it had at the end of the Northwestern game and the end of the Michigan State game and played like that for 20 minutes. And they weren't picking up full court, but they're just playing hard in half court, playing sound fundamental defense. James Blackman Jr., let's talk about him, because that was by far the most impressive 20 minutes that he's had in an Indiana uniform. The numbers, I mean, they tell the story, but not the complete story. 13 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 of them offensive. He had a sequence there at the end of the first half where he missed a 3, grabbed the board, ends up getting the assist to Emmett Holt. I mean, he is playing with such effort and intensity on both ends of the floor and making his shots. And this is the guy that I think we all thought we were getting as a freshman, and he's played so well offensively in spurts, but we have not seen this kind of two-way play from him. And, I mean, he's just been absolutely terrific. Yogi, I think, has been phenomenal today in terms of setting the tone on both ends of the floor. He's got 10 points. He's got a couple assists, and he is just absolutely making life hell on Trey Demps. Trey Demps has played 18 minutes. He has taken 3 shots. He's only made 1 of them, and the 1 shot that he made was a breakaway over Nick Zeisloft. Yogi has been all over him on the defensive end of the court, and Trey Demps has been an IU killer for so long. Robert Johnson, I think, looks healthy. He looks quicker and more decisive with his movements than I've seen him in a while, and we know that he's been getting treatment on an almost daily basis since that Ohio State game, so that's great to see. Troy, I don't think, is playing well. I think Troy is just playing so hard that he's finding a way to be productive anyway. Troy has 3 points, but he has 6 boards, 3 of them offensive. He's got 2 blocks. He's got a steal. So he's not being efficient. He's only 1 of 5 from the field, but he's just playing so hard for Indiana that he's, again, finding a way to be productive. And I thought we really saw from Colin Hartman the kinds of little things he does in that first half that don't always show up in the box score. There were a couple of plays. There was actually 2 back-to-back possessions where Northwestern got the ball into Alex Ola. And on one, Colin, just by getting lower and by using his positioning, was able to force Ola out of being able to get a layup. And on the next possession, he forced a travel. Now, late in the second half, Northwestern started going to Ola with more success, and that's what we have to watch out for in the second half. because clearly Hartman can't bang with him down there for 20 minutes. And so this is where Honor and where Emmett Holt really have to do a better job defensively, because frankly, Hartman did the best job on Ola in the first half. And hopefully Emmett and Honor watched what he was doing and can use kind of those lessons in positioning to help them. But that's going to be the key. And of course, the key is going to be maintaining this defensive intensity. And what we saw in the first game against Northwestern is they really started playing more physical defensively in the second half. And Indiana offensively did not adjust. The Hoosiers started settling. They stopped getting the ball into the paint as much and just started jacking up threes, and those shots stopped falling. Well, I think for Indiana, they've got to continue to penetrate, get the ball inside, and just play with this effort and intensity. And if they do, a big win that will get him into a game against Maryland and potentially get him on the NCAA tournament is there for the taking. But I'm so excited to see this team play with this level of effort and this level of focus on defense. It's what we've been asking for all season long. And in one sense, it's frustrating because you're like, holy crap, this team is capable of playing this kind of defense. And we've all known it. And now they're finally doing it. And hey, better late than never. And if this continues for the next 20 minutes, maybe this is something we can start to hang our hat on and really believe in this team for a big run to end the season. But we know with this team, they've been inconsistent. They haven't always been able to carry good play in one half over to the next half. So before we start crowning them or doing anything like that, let's make these Hoosiers prove it to us with another 20 minutes like those first 20 minutes. But my goodness, if they do, they're going to win this game by 25, 30 points and set up a big matchup on Friday against Maryland. But bravo, Hoosiers. Way to put the negativity of the last three games behind you. Come out and really play with effort, intensity, and focus. Let's do it for 20 more minutes. Let's get a win, and let's set up that big matchup on Friday against Maryland. Thank you all very much for watching this episode of the Assembly Call Halftime Report, assemblycall.com/live. As soon as the game ends, we will be there to break down this game. Hopefully, it is another victorious episode. If the second half is anything like the first half, it sure will be. All right, talk to you all in a little bit.